Today I wanted to show you guys how to bend properly to lift something. Like, what is the correct way to do it if you're lifting something heavy, if you're lifting something wide. My name's Tony, I work in physical therapy, and you'd be surprised how many times I see people coming in here with back pain or knee pain or hip pain or any kind of pain because they do not know how to bend properly and they hurt themselves. Let's show you how to lift. First things first is I want to talk about how you should not be bending. I need to take this off. I feel like you're not going to be able to see the way my back's bending properly in this. I pictured, you guys have seen Bruce Almighty when he does that? That's kind of what I was picturing right there. It didn't work though. The first bad way I see people bending is like this. Ugh, they're just bending right through their back, and I'm sure you guys have seen that, and I'm sure you guys have probably done that and thinking, hey Tony, that's not that bad. I don't actually hurt when I bend that way, so why are you telling me this? Well, it's not necessarily gonna hurt you the first time. Like, I can do this and it's not very painful, but if I continue that habit for a long period of time, or if I increase the weight of what I lift up, then it can lead to pain. That's not a good thing, so don't bend like that. Another bad way that I see people bend is usually when they're told to keep their back straight when they bend down to pick something up, and so this is what I end up seeing patients do. They stand completely upright like this, and then they bend through their knees this way and come down and then come back up, and I'm like, oh, that just hurts me inside just seeing that. Like someone's stabbing me with a knife. It just hurts my soul. I don't want to see it. It is not a good way to bend, going all your weight through your knees like that. Ooh, not good. It hurts. My knee's doing that right now. Another way that I see people bend that isn't ideal is when they bend something like this. The first way I told you guys was like when their legs are straight and they're bending through their back this way. But another bad way that I see people bend is when they soften their legs, so it's actually a little better for you, but then they round down this way to pick something up, and ooh, my knee still hurts from that second example I gave you. But that way is not good either. When you're bending through your back this way and doing one of these, that's no good. There's better ways to do it. So let's maybe go over some of the good ways that could help you then. Okay, what you're gonna wanna do when you bend properly is the first thing is stand straight up. And when I mean stand straight up, I don't mean shrug your shoulders up to stand straight up. Relax your shoulders, just don't be from here. Just draw your chest up a little bit. The second thing is sitting your hips back like you're gonna sit in a chair behind you, and then drop your chest towards the floor. So it'll look something like this. You're sitting your hips back and you're dropping your chest down. And notice how my back is staying nice and straight. I'm not bending through my back this way. I'm keeping it nice and straight this way. This is a much better way to bend because these muscles are a lot stronger. My leg muscles and my butt is a lot stronger than bending through my knees, because that's not very strong, in bending through my back. That's not as strong as using your legs. Your legs are powerful. They have a lot of big muscles on them to help you bend and lift things. Something I'll do for my patients is usually give them a tactile cue or an object, a point of reference to just help them with their bend and lift. So what I'll typically have them do is put this against their back. And by the way I'm standing right here, I'm not lining up with it. So you're gonna wanna draw up nice and tall, like I first said, and my back is gonna be touching it. It's gonna be touching my head, my mid-back, and my low back, my butt area. So you wanna be nice and upright this way, and then you wanna keep this form as you sit your hips back and as you bend. You don't want your head to be looking up, so keep your head in line. You don't want your back to be down this way. You want to stay up to the stick, and that's basically it. A few tips I have for you is keep your feet shoulder width apart. So you don't want to stand too close because you're not going to be able to bend as good. Your base of support is narrow. So you're going to widen out about shoulder width apart, and then you're going to want to bend that way. Sometimes what you're going to want to do is widen out a little more. This will make it easier getting a little lower. It won't feel so strenuous. Tip number 2 I have for you is to not let your knees go in front of your toes when you bend. So you're going to want to sit your hips back, sit your butt back like in a chair, instead of going forward and letting your knees go in front of your toes. Sometimes I'll cue somebody and I'll put an object on their toes like this and make them squat backwards. If their knee comes forward and touches it, that's not a good thing. Tip number 3 is that when you go and bend down, when you go to stand back up, don't bend through your back first. push through your legs. You're pushing your legs into the ground and you're using your hips to come forward. That is where your power comes from. If you've ever watched any professional sports, you never see a football player go to the line like this or use their back funny. You never see a basketball player, slump down. Usually they're in a good form. And there's a reason for that, is because you have much more power in your hips than using your knees or your back or anything like that. Okay, tip number 4 is that when you have something heavy like this 52.9 pound kettlebell, you're going to want to hold it close to your body when you're lifting. The farther away, I'm gonna drop it. It's a lot harder to do. When I go to lift this thing, I wanna keep it really close to me. I don't want it way out in front of me, picking it up this way. I wanna get this as close to my center of gravity as I can. I wanna get it really close to me, use my legs, keep my back nice and straight, lift through my legs. That's a much better way to do it. I'm sweating. Now let's talk about what you do then if you have something lighter that you need to pick up. You're not, like, for example, if I drop my car keys in Meijer's parking lot, I'm not gonna do a full squat to pick them up because that will look silly as could be. So what's a different way that you can lift something if it's really light, like this 5-pound weight? It's called a golfer's pickup, and what you're gonna do is extend one leg as you're bending through to pick something up. So the same concepts still apply. I'm gonna keep my back nice and straight with it, and I'm gonna bend through my hips. That's my hinge point, but I'm gonna extend a leg while I do it and then come back up. And that's a much more efficient way to pick something up that's light. I don't need to go and do a full squat to do it. I can just bend through my hips. I would encourage you to practice these different techniques in front of a mirror or just at home by yourself, maybe get feedback from someone, because it will help you out in the long run. Like I said, it's not gonna kill you if you bend through your back, but it could be that one trigger that sets off your back pain or knee pain. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it showed you a few new techniques of how you can bend. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Let me know in the comment section if you have more questions. Peace. My knee is actually sore from doing that bending the wrong way. So it goes to show you, bend with the right technique, because my knee is hurting now.